Today, I want to underscore the vital role that MSME and cooperative play in driving Africa's economic integration through the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA. MSMEs represent over 80% of African businesses and employ the majority of the workforce. They are active across all sectors, including agriculture, manufacturing, services, and innovation. If AFCFTA is to succeed, it must be built with MSMEs and its core. Excluding them will create an integral market in theory, but not in practice. Cooperatives are a powerful tool for inclusion across Africa. They help MSMEs to scale up, access market, and pool resources. Whether it is a farmers aggregating produce, circles enabling access to finance, or artisan groups sharing machinery, cooperatives multiply the strengths of individuals.
It is just 25 years from now. And I'm glad that I am fully honored to host the inaugural WC.
Moreover, we are ready to disseminate architecture. Recently, my friend Rigathi, the chairman of the National Chambers of Commerce here, today we hosted this across the globe. The movement of the international for Kenya and Africa to be able to attract investments and here 113 African chambers of commerce in Asia. Chambers of Commerce have stood that we started 6 years ago. It provides commerce lies in three unique attributes. Firstly, our Chambers of Commerce are relationships transcend to 68% that we see in Europe and North America. And as Kenya National Chambers of Commerce, we have the small and micro enterprises and promote the last one is distribution solution mechanisms, which international achievements. 2 offices with our friends from Dubai Chamber. Today in Nairobi. And very much by our Secretary General John Denton. Their teams have been by mounting geopolitical tensions, reciprocal tariffs, announced last week as part of the so-called Global Recession Day. Long-term negative consequences would be also we can contemplate the rising global challenges, and we are discussing as one of last year. The African continent has the second largest $US annually. Where government is from $8 trillion in 2024. To several economies in the continent and can take on the other side to foster the free trade area in the world in terms of number of. And for ICC, we have put in place a comprehensive tool for the contents of knowledge of ICC in a very friendly way that the continents can be fully realized.
Nairobi has long been a hub of innovation and commerce on the African continent. This city is home to thousands of startups, tech incubators, and creative entrepreneurs, all pushing the bounds of the possible. Just like Africa, this is a young city. Our median age is 19. Not far from here, you'll find innovation hubs and tech parks where young people, men and women, are developing fintech solutions, health tech applications, and new business models to meet everyday challenges. We in Nairobi have embraced this spirit of innovation and working very closely with the national government. For instance, we have partnered with the private sector players to establish community innovation centers that provide youth with internet access, training, and mentorship opportunities. We are very glad that our president is keen on the digital superhighway, and we're taking advantage of that. We believe, and I'd love to make the case to you, that local governments are vital for nurturing talent and enabling innovators. When they do, our cities on the continent, from Nairobi to Lagos to Cape Town to Kampala, contribute directly to the broader national and continental goals of digital transformation for growth. As a city, our story is one of integration and connectivity. We are a melting pot, attracting people from every corner of Kenya and of Africa, and these days more than ever before from right around the world. We have been gifted by location. God has given us that gift. In, I think, 8 hours you're in Turkey, if not less. In 5 hours you're in Dubai. In 8 hours you're in London. But we need to do more with us as Africa, on the African continent.
Africa is becoming more connected, more innovative, and more entrepreneurial. Our success will depend on how prepared and committed we are to embrace this fast-changing future. And I want to thank all the other participants from across the globe for making this very important step to host this first ever summit in our part of the world. Among the world's regions, Africa has every reason to be optimistic. Our potential is undeniable. We are the world's youngest continent, home to a growing population of well-educated, highly skilled young people. Our lands are rich in untapped mineral wealth, including those critical minerals that are essential for global industrial transition. We also possess the largest areas of uncultivated fertile land and the vast reserves of renewable energy. And as you're all aware, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area brings into being the largest single market of 1.4 billion people in 55 countries, with a GDP of close to 3.4 trillion. And the good news is that the building blocks towards the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, whether you're talking about the East African Community or the tripartite free trade area that brings together EAC, COMESA, and SADC, that actually came into force last year in June, creating the building blocks to have a strong, integrated, single market around our continent, which presents opportunity for business, for investment, and for trade. County governments have and continue to play a crucial role. Together with the devolved chapters of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, counties must champion pro-business reforms, eliminate bureaucratic bottlenecks, and support local entrepreneurs. To encourage this, we are developing a county ease of doing business index to drive healthy competition, accountability, and progress. Whether we look at Kenya or any other African country, the signs are clear. Africa's future is bright. Through collaboration, investment, good governance, private sector innovation, and a reform-driven approach, we are ready for takeoff. In this journey, chambers of commerce will play an increasingly critical role. Kenya, for its part, is committed to remaining open for business, regionally engaged, and globally ambitious. Let us therefore move forward with shared purpose to unlock Africa's vast potential. What we achieve together, driven by this collective commitment, will shape a prosperous present and even greater legacy for generations to come. Despite global headwinds, Kenya's economy, for example, last year grew by 5.6%, outpacing global trends. Key sectors like agriculture, services, and manufacturing are rebounding. At the grassroots, micro, small, and medium enterprises are the backbone of our economy, employing over 80% of our people. Their main constraints being limited credit, infrastructure gaps, and climate risks are in truth opportunities waiting for innovation and smart investment. Because if you look at the MSME sector, they pay very high interest rates, yet they still make money. If there was financial innovation that has products, like we tried with the Hustler Fund, it's amazing how Hustler Fund today, despite the fact that it has no collateral, up to 90% repayment is happening. You would expect that a financial product that has no collateral and therefore individuals would have no incentive to pay back. But they are paying back because they see the value of the low interest they get in that product. And that is why repayment is all the way to close to 90%. And these are innovations that can be rolled out, scaled up, and we are looking at partners who can work with us to be able to access more credit innovatively to the private sector. We still have a bigger opportunity in intra-Africa trade. And the realization by policymakers like myself that that is where the real future lies is a very welcome development, because it's now becoming more obvious that even as we look to trading with the rest of the world, there is a present and real opportunity in trading within the African continent, which is within our power. We can make decisions for what happens in this continent. And it is the reason why we are reorganizing the Africa Union. We are reforming the institutions of the Africa Union so that it becomes a fit-for-purpose mechanism for us to unlock the potential of this continent first, even as we look at what we can do with the rest of the world.
The African continent has the second largest population globally, a young population, presenting substantial consumer base for various industries. Nigeria with 230 million people, Ethiopia with more 120, Kenya plays the lion's share of the African population base. And the combined GDP is approximately $2.8 trillion in 2024. In addition, the rapid urbanization in Africa creates opportunity for business in urban areas, in consumer areas, infrastructures, developments. And similarly, and you know I've been very personally involved in it, on the critical raw materials. Africa rich natural resources, including these critical materials, contribute significantly to several economies in the continent and can definitely attract much more foreign investments. But to fully realize Africa's potential, greater efforts need to be undertaken. On the one side, to increase regional trade integration. On the other side, to foster companies' participation, African companies' participation in global value chains, particularly SMEs. So on the first front, intra-regional trade in Africa, it remains the lowest among the world today. So this partially owes to the fact that Africa has very intra-regional non-tariff barriers, such as, you know, red tape, custom clearance, procedures, and these barriers produce effects in terms of unrealized trade and economic growth potential that are similar to those of the tariffs imposed by external players to African countries. And in this context, the initiatives like the African Continental Free Trade Area, they appear to be very promising. This FTA has the potential to create the largest free trade area in the world in terms of number of participating countries. And moreover, the estimates show that by 2035, implementation of this FTA could contribute to lifting 30 million people from extreme poverty and 68 million people from moderate poverty across Africa.
For over 100 years, chambers of commerce have supported free trade. ICC and WCF represent 45 million businesses in over 170 countries. That is a strong voice. When we act together, we can help governments work with each other, not against each other. If governments build walls, we, the business world, will build bridges. We will keep trading, investing, and working together. We will keep our connections strong, even when politics try to break them.